It's kit unboxing day. Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. Today I will be unboxing the latest card kit from Simon Says Stamp. I will unbox, I will look through the things, and then I will make 5 cards and I will share them with you. To see that video, stick around. It's coming up next. Commence the unboxing. Say hello to the November card kit from Simon Says Stamp, and this is called Cozy Autumn Hugs. Now, one of the things I am so excited to finally see, this little friend here, this is called Pawsitively Perfect Craft Pad. And this is something that I did not design, but I asked Simon, can you make a pokey pad? And they did, but I didn't know it was going to be in the shape of a paw. And that is the debut of this thing. Why is this good? Well, you're also going to get in your kit here, one of our place and pierce wands. And I absolutely love this wand for the small sticky side. And when I am doing delicate die cuts, I like to poke out the backs on a pad, and now I have a cute pad in which to do that. So that is something I'm actually very excited about. Okay, moving on. Had to do a little more arranging. You're going to get sugar. Of course. All right, you're going to get a little emboss and cut, and what this does is this is called Moon and Pines. Oh, how cute is that? It's a little embossing folder that also cuts, and it's really cute for making little elements for your card. That is cute. I've actually used one of these before, so that's kind of fun. You are going to get a 3D embossing folder. Oh, that's gorgeous. This is called Wistful Leaves. Ooh, I have an idea for that already. Okay, love the 3D folders. You're going to get some American Crafts Farmstead Harvest 4x6 pattern paper. And so you're getting 4x6 sheets. It looks like they are, oh, look at that. It looks like they're single-sided, which I sometimes appreciate because, look at that. Because then you don't feel as bad when you can't use all of the colors. Oh, that's very cute. Well, my pad's kind of falling apart here, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? Well, that's a card waiting to happen. Okay. Beautiful. Here's some more. Oh my goodness. I love the gold elements in this. That one sheet, yes. The deer are so sweet. Oh, look at the stripes. That's actually really cute. What a pretty paper set. Okay. Liking it. That's really nice. All the nice gold elements, and the hits keep coming. Baby tags. All right. It actually looks like maybe these were full-size pads that got cut down just because of these little friends here. But I actually think that's really cute, and that is a fun set of paper. All right. Oh, gotta cover this up. You're going to get a layering stencil set, and this is the autumn frame. Oh, I do love a layering stencil. That is really beautiful. Oh, okay. Layering stencil, we're going to set you aside, and now you get to see the stamp set, which is called Cozy Autumn Hugs. And on the back here, we have a little stamp building guide, which is always nice, right, to be able to see how it comes together. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so you have your stamp builder, and all of these greetings, incredibly grateful for everything you do, sending you cozy hugs, hello friend, autumn greetings, just because, little sub-sentiments thinking of you, sending love, thank you, and thankful for you. And then again, the guide on how it goes together. Oh, that's a fun set. Okay, love it. Setting that aside, let's take a look at our cardstock. You're going to get one sheet of 100-pound burnt orange. That is a gorgeous color. you are going to get 1 sheet of the Neenah Solar White, the classic Crest brand in the 110 pound, and you're going to get 1 sheet of soft navy. So that's a look at the November card kit. Oh yeah, I just think, look at that paper right there. Oh, I love it. From Simon Says Stamp, we got our stencil set. We've got our embossing folder. Now I must percolate, and I must start by creating something simple. I don't know what that is yet, but you'll see it momentarily. For card 1, I really want to use this beautiful autumn frame. And so I have a piece of the Neenah Classic Crest, and I've stuck it down to a grip mat. And here on the stencil, it actually says Layer 1 Base Color. And so this is the detail. And what I'm going to do is do my best to just line up the lines like this, and then stick it here with my grip mat. Now, I created a little invention. I'm using these little acetate squares that I cut out of a piece of acetate, and it's going to help me to isolate some of, let's see, are we up there all the way? Some of the colors as we go, because one of the things I like to do is I do like to look at a piece and say, okay, what are we doing? Do we have all the color? And so oftentimes I'll just keep it to the side here, and we're going to add some colors. Now I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to start with all of my oranges. So I'm going to flip this here. I'm going to start with Cantaloupe, and let me get my brush primed. And then I'm just going to work my way around. And the way I use these little squares is I'm going to stick to a mat there, come here like this. Mostly going to work. Yeah, I think so. They're just going to help me to isolate the parts that I want to color and keep like that. So I'm going to put some music on. You'll see me switch colors, and we're going to start blending onto the background. All right, that was a lot, but let's peel this up and I will show you. I think I have everything in. Yes, I do. All right, I am going to let that just sit for a few minutes, and then I'm going to add the second layer. I'm actually going to use my Heated Craft tool to just facilitate the drying, because I am going to do the second layer in embossing ink. I'm starting out very ambitious. I also got a little overlap here and there, but I think it will be fine. So let's just facilitate the Pawsitively saturated ink dry. The only reason I'm doing this is these inks do take a little longer to dry. And so if you facilitate that, then the embossing powder is less likely to stick. And I'm not too worried about the warping of this, because I can just flatten the back. And then, of course, I'm going to be sticking it right back down onto my mat. But I am going to press through some embossing ink with a paper pouncer. So let me grab that and we'll continue. I'm going to add some anti-static powder over these images, and I'll have to dust this off of my mat too, but I'll just wash my grip mat afterwards. And now what we'll do is we'll take layer 2, again making sure that my that I can read, where is that? There it is, that I can read the layer. I just want to make sure it's lined up properly so that all of these details, oh, come here now, will line up in the right place. Okay, and press. So all I'm going to do is take my, now I have a 3-pack of these white ones, and I've put a little sticky on here, a little label that says embossing ink, so that I don't forget which one I'm using. And I'm going to take, oops, I'm going to throw things around. I'm going to take my Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink, pounce around, get a nice amount on here, and then I'm going to start pressing it into the stencil. Now, I will have to wash all of these things when I am done in some warm dishwater, some soapy dishwater. I don't know if this is going to work, but you know what? Sometimes on a card kit unboxing, you just got to go for it. So that's what we're doing. That is what we are doing. And it is picking up a little color, so methinks, I have no idea when I started saying that. Methinks that it's going to work. All right. Oh, did I? Nope, that's all going to be gold. That's going to be beautiful. This is a very long first card. Today might only be a 5-card day. Might only be a 4-card day. Depends on how well this goes. All right, I think I may have over-pounced, but you know what? Spare the pouncing, spoil the ink. I don't know. All right, so we've pounced. Let's hold our breath and see where it picks up. All right, I'm going to grab my embossing clothespin. I'm going to use my little craft pick, Jewels Not Tools, to lift this up. I mean, I think I better pounce more. I did not see as much ink as I wanted to see on there, so let's pounce. Before we lift, I'm just going to do a little more because that did not look like it was on there. Now let me see. That's better. Okay. It could be that I need even more than I think I do. But I feel like even if it doesn't stick perfectly, I think we're going to be okay. We're lifting you up. We're picking you off. We're grabbing you, and we're hoping, get this out of the way, that it works. I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Antique Ultrafine Gold. I love this powder, and hopefully it's going to go all over, stick to everything we need it to. Here goes the moment of truth. Oh, it did. Oh, okay. It worked. Now, I have a few areas to dust off. Oh, that's so cool. But I will. So let's funnel this back in. I'll clean it up with a brush, and then we'll melt the powder. Oh my goodness. Now, this has been a labor of love, but look how cute that is with the shine. Gosh, okay. Now, I think what I'm going to do is stamp a greeting and emboss it in gold, but I think I'm just going to jump ahead because we have way too much to do today. I'll show you. I'll cut to the chase. All right, I'll show a little bit more of this. I just added powder and stamped this, there we go, stamped this greeting right in the middle. sending you cozy hugs. I think that's cute. All right. All right. Let's let you flip over. Oh, I think that's going to be super cute. All right. And then I'll melt that powder. And that looks lovely. Sending you cozy hugs. I just got to let this flatten out a little and I'll pop it onto a note card and then I'll show you what it looks like. I mounted this directly onto a Desert Storm card base, and now I am just going to put some pearls. These are just some satin gold pearls that I have, not in the kit, but I just thought, you know, when you've gone this far, you kind of got to go the whole way. And this color, boop, is so nice with the Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold powder. I've got 5, and that is going to finish out the card. We started out with the big one, but but I think it's really fun. Look at how soft the blending is, but then you have your shine with the emboss through the stencil. I think that's really fun. That's card 1. Whew, that was a long one. I hope I can edit it down. We're gonna move on. For the next card, I want to use the beautiful embossing folder, and we're gonna make a simple card. So I cut a panel of the burnt orange down to be, I think this is 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm cutting it first, or cut it down first so I don't have to cut it later. And here's a great sandwich for the Simon 3D embossing folders that I learned from my friend Amy Rasavi on a Spellbinders. I take platform A and platform B. I take one metal shim and another metal shim. Any metal shim will do, but this is going to give you the pressure that you want. And I guess you could, I don't know if it matters if you go spine first or not, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to come through like this. I'm going to come back through. I think this is going to be great. And now you'll see the texture on my panel. So now I have, zoom in here, I have 2 layers of texture, right? There's the 3, that's why it's called the 3D. These are popped up higher, and then the leafery recedes back a little more. So that's going to be the panel for my card. All right, I'm going to get a greeting, and we're going to finish a quickie. Okay, maybe it's not going to be as quick. I am going to add a little bit of gold spatter onto this card panel, and then I'll let it dry while I do the greeting. So this is just some aqua pigment from Brutus Monroe. I've been using this a ton lately. I just put it on a block. It's got a little eyedropper, squeeze it out, and take a fan brush like this and put on some gold. And it doesn't matter if these are big blobbies, little blobbies. It's just something to add a little bit of fun to the panel. And I don't even mind that big blobby, just a little for this card. All right, I'll set this aside and work on the greeting. All right, so incredibly grateful right here. Okay. Picking this up. That way I know I can put this right back in here. Prime this up a bit. Take my anti-static powder, coat that, and let's take our embossing ink, ink this up, and press this down. Take a look at that. Oh, that's going to look great. Then I can easily place my next stamp. For everything you do, and I kind of want it to be up as close as I can get it, so there's almost a little overlap like that, okay? Because the ink is all going to work, right? Okay. Prime, 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 prime. Ink. Bring that down. Press. See how cute that is? Because it gets so much closer to the greeting. All right, and let's let that transfer. All right, now I will add my Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold. And sprinkle this on. So we're creating a very tone-on-tone look. Now I have my gold shiny greeting, and I'm going to trim this down a little so that it fits right across the center of this card. I went ahead and popped this up with some of the Simon Says Stamp Big Mama tape from the tape roll, because I didn't want it to have a ton of dimension, and I love the loft of this when you just want to have a little. And then I trimmed this greeting down. And I'm going to use a little liquid glue just to keep it a little floaty before it commits to the surface of the panel that I'm going to pop it up on. And I'm going to grab, oh, my T-square, which is literally right in front of me. I was looking for it and there it is. All right, where are my tweezers? Okay. I just want this to be right up against the edge, and I want it to be right in the center, like that. That's all we're doing. Very, very simple design. I'm going to use the edge of this to butt this up against. Just kind of visualize the center, and I think we could come up a little bit, right? Oh, come here. Highly trained professional. Let's do it right there. I think that will look good. All right, drop it down like this and get it lined up right on the T-square. Push it over a bit. A little off there, but I think that's okay. Oh, that's it. So what this has, it's a very simple card, right? But look at the beautiful texture that is in the cardstock, right? You've got your shine, you've got your leaves, and it has all this texture, even though it is a very simple design. I actually really like that. And I'm not going to put anything else on that because sometimes a nice slim card is so nice to have just to pop into an envelope. So that card is done. Moving on. My idea for the next card is something I hardly ever do, and that is this. I'm going to take some circles. I am going to cut 3 circles, and just they go down in size, right? The problem is I don't know which one I want to do as the largest. So I think I want my patterns to be a little larger, like that and that. Let me cut out 3 circles, and then I'm going to stamp a greeting, and we're going to see if this works. Now I'm just going to take and flip these over and put a smaller sized disc on the back just to give it a little more stability. I'm just going to swirl around a little liquid glue like that. Pop this right in the center. That way, if I decide to layer and pop these up, they will have a little more dimension or just stability, but the white won't show through. I know you're thinking, Kath, I don't know where you're going. I don't yet either. It's in my head. It might work. It might not. All right, 3 circles that look like this. Okay, we've got our deer, we've got that, and we've got that. Now I'm going to stamp a greeting. I'll just stamp hello, emboss it in gold really quickly off camera and cut it out. And that way we are ready to build this card. So here's my idea. I went ahead and put on more of the spatter stuff because I'm all about the spatter. And I've just got my circles and I just want to create a little circle arrangement. Let's see here. Maybe like, where do I put? I put foam squares on to give a little support. And then this little guy will go underneath. And then you just have your little hello. So it's just kind of creating a little graphic arrangement on a card panel. I actually think this is really cute. So let's start with, and I may do some adjusting here. Let's start with this. I actually have black foam squares because I didn't have any larger thin, but you won't be able to see those. That's going to be just fine. And I want my deer to be nice and upstanding right at the top. Like that. So they're a little popped up, right? And then here's what I wasn't sure. Do I want to pop this a little as well? Because if I do, and I can, all I need to make sure is that I put a foam square under here as well, but I have to double it. So let's go 1 and 2 for the other side. And then what you do, you can do it with cards. Now I'm just going to do it with foam squares. I'm going to double these just for the support, right? I don't know. This is not my typical card, but I like the idea. Now let's press that and see. Does that give us what we need? Why, yes, it does. That's going to stay there very nicely. So we'll come up a little into here, and I will take these guys off. Anytime you have a collection of pattern paper, you can mix and match with different shapes for something kind of cute and different. And this is just a simple greeting card. It isn't even necessarily fall themed. I'm using the hello, which I just stamped on the white cardstock. And I actually cut that out with my Simon Says Stamp sentiment labels. So here, let me get you out of the way for now too. We're just going to say, you're coming up right about there. All right. Now this little guy is just going to come right into the base, maybe pop out a little and maybe come down because I do have foam squares here as well. And I think it would be cute if this sort of jutted into that. So let's glue that into place as well. I'm just going to use liquid glue for this. Okay. Simple, right? So simple. And let's have those little patterns going like this. All right, that way we break a few planes, we pop in here. This circle is about the same distance as that one. All right, and pressing that down. Now, I could put some double up foam squares here too. I might as well. And that should be the right. Let's just double check it. Oh yeah, that's going to hold that there very nicely. All right, that was quick, I think. Cut some shapes, spatter on a white note card, and add 3 shapes in coordinating pattern papers. All of these have a little of that. Well, this doesn't have the shine, but the rest of them do. And I think I got a roly-poly-oly there. Let's put the little liquid glue daub, just so I have a second to make sure this is straight. I can get my T-square out. And again, we're going to center that mostly in the right circle, so that looks very purposeful. And then bring this in from the side and make sure we're straight. And press. And now I have this little card, and let's add a few sequins. Now in a perfect world, I'd be a little bit further down, but I actually like this, so we're doing it. And the sequin will easily be picked up with this end of the Pierce and Place tool. Okay. Getting you in, boop, 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 and down here. So we've got a lot of boop things happening, boop, but in a sense, boop, it's still a very simple card. So look at all the shine that's on here, spatter, circles. It's kind of a cool graphic look, and I think that's kind of neat, kind of different. All right, moving on. For the next card, I want to do a panel, and I'm just going to put the panel right in here. And I want to build it, I think, all around incredibly grateful for everything you do. Now, I don't have the dies for this set, but I have a feeling that if you play your cards right, you can do a one-layer card, and that's my plan. But right now, I don't want to stamp this down yet. I want to start stamping some of the build-a stuff, right? So I'm going to imagine, if you will, that we have incredibly grateful here on our panel, right? And I'm going to start building out maybe it should be a little higher up like that. Okay, and I'm going to imagine it's there, or I mean a little lower. Well, now I don't know. Now I like it in the middle. So this is going to be what we like to call a bit of a crapshoot, and we're going to place a few things onto the panel, and it's cube time. So I'm going to get out some cubes, and we're going to do a few leaves. And what other leaves would I want in here? I think I would want to have this as well. So we're just playing. We're just playing right now. And I do not want to have this here yet. Lemonade. So we're going to go with very non-traditional colors for fall, but I think this is going to be fun. All right. Pressing these down, taking this guy out for now. All right. Let's do a little priming. I'm going to take my bubblegum cube, and if you know or you don't know, all of our cubes, or all of our Pawsitively saturated inks, are now available in cube format, which is really nice. I like having small cubes for certain things, especially for smaller stamps. I actually like the way that looks. Well, you know what? I'm going to tap it again. Sometimes I get my cubes a little cubey looking. I think this will be nice. All right, one there. Okay, then we're going to move down to having the peachy. It's going to be our orange. Okay, I could do more at once, but I don't feel like it. I'm just doing this. I'm going to get some more on there. And of course, as stamps get conditioned, they do stamp better and better, right? These are just brand new right out of the box. All right, so there's that. And then I'm going to do lemonade. Lemonade is my favorite of the yellows. Pop you here and come down. All right. It's very bright and very cheery. All right. All right, let me clean these up and we will stamp some stems. So I've got the 3 stems lined up for these blooms. I'm gonna pick this up and again, prime these a little bit. And I'm actually gonna stamp these in black. And I'm gonna use Simon Says Stamp Intense Black for this because I want a nice inky black to add my stems. This is gonna be a very graphic look. So let's bring these down and stamp. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to bring Incredibly Grateful back. Now see, this is pretty graphic. At first I'm like, ooh, I don't know, Kath, but just I think it's gonna work. And you'll see, I'm going to fill in a few things here. Ooh, this is very slippery. Hold on, I got to reposition this. All right, like that. All right, stay stuck. All right, let's ink this up with the Intense Black and bring it down for a nice inky greeting. Oh, that looks good. I'm gonna do one more. Oh, it kind of cut, the leaf kind of cut into my stem, but I think that's okay because we're gonna make it funky. All right. So incredibly grateful. That is very funky. Okay. And now let me clean this again. Do a little initial wipe off with my stamp chamois. But you can see this does stain. But if you use the cleaner and a scrubber, if you want your stamps to be really clean, this stuff works great. And these pads come off and they're washable. I just wash them in soapy water. All right, and look how clean that is now. Like new. Well, mostly. Okay. All right, that's what we have so far. Now it's time to add a little more color. You know what? I want to add a little black center here first because I forgot about that little guy. Okay. And I'll just ink up this little guy, bring it down, press. Good. That looks good. And again, if you want that really clean, the ultra clean takes it right off. Okay, so there's my center there. And now I'm going to do something here that might look goofy, but I think it will be cute. I'm also going to do a couple little dots just with the other two colors. Okay. And I am going to do one in, it's kind of hard to get it here, one in that color. Do that a couple times. Just take a little dot there. That. And then, you know what, I'll just take the other one off while I do it because it'll be easier. I could have just done this on a block, but because I knew I was going to do different colors, okay, I'm going to go yellow and yellow like that. Then I'm going to clean these off, picking you up, making you in pink. That. Being careful this time. I wiped it and then it literally just went over to no man's land. There we go. Maybe a little bit more out. And make that orange. I don't know, this is funky. It's gonna get funkier, I promise. Like that. Or actually that one should be yellow. Let's get you cleaned up. Pick you up. Because each one gets to be big ones. One. And a small one in our bubble gum. There we go. Okay. One. And a two. All right, so there's the panel as it stands. I'm going to do one more thing to it. My other fan brush is down soaking by the sink. So I'm going to take a just regular dye ink here that I have, not the intense black. I'm going to get this watered up. I just want to make sure it's looking, yeah, okay. And then we're just going to tap a few on like that. Oh, that's what I love. A couple more. And that way you have a few spatters on your card to tie it together. Let me clean this up. I'm going to mat this and we'll finish out the card. I finished this card off by matting it on a piece of Simon Says Stamp black cardstock and then popping it onto a Neenah Classic Crest Solar White card base. And then inside, I just stamped For Everything You Do. When I first was finishing this up, I thought, oh, I don't know if this is good enough to make the video. But you know what? I actually like this because, you know, it can be a very simple design and it can still be a really sweet card that someone would enjoy getting. And I actually think this is funky and kind of cool. All right, moving on. For the next card, I want to do something with this little tiny emboss and cut. Now, what this does is it's going to emboss my square and it's going to die cut out this. So I've brought my spellbinders back out and I actually ended up cutting this to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 so that then hopefully what happens is this is going to have a nice frame all the way around the area. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in here. I'm following this sandwich because this is more of a standard size. So cutting plate, embossing folder with paper, platform A and B. All right, I've got my cutting plate here. Let's place you down. And even if it's a little big, like if it sticks out a little, I can go ahead and trim it down just a tiny bit. All right, so let's run that through like this. Come back. Go through again. I think that will be enough. Well, you know, when in Rome, you got it out. Let's just use it. All right, so what we get here is we get this cute little embossing around here. So we've got our trees and we've got a piece here. Oh, did it not cut all the way through? Well, it didn't, but I'm going to make it work. And I'm just going to trim a little bit extra around the edge to make sure that it's nice, and I'm going to blend a moon. I have a piece of grip mat that I cut down. I know, I had an extra, so I cut it. And the reason why was for things like this, just something to hold my tool. And I'm going to use a little Wild Honey from Distress, the Distress ink, because I want this to have sort of that moon glow. So I guess it doesn't really matter what side I come in, but I'll make it darker in one part like that and just fade it down. Now, I'm not sure if I want to stick with the white, to be honest with you. It might be fun to do it in gold because then you'd really see the texture. I mean, never say never. Look, I'll just come up here and do a little bit more like that, and it'll look very moon-like by just splotching in some of those little areas on the moon. You know what I'm talking about. The moon. The moon. Okay, we're getting loopy. All right, I'm going to cut one gold and just see. I'm going to stamp Autumn Greetings in gold. I don't know yet if I'm going to use this moon. We might not, but we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna maybe a little tilt. We're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. So first things first, let's stamp this on the soft navy. Navy and gold is so pretty. I hardly ever do it. Today, we are going to remedy that. All right. A little anti-static powder on the cardstock. I am going to get my Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink. Ink that up. Transfer. That looks beautiful. I'm going to give it one more little bit and drop that down. All right. Now I will add some gold powder. I have my Brutus Monroe powder right here, the gilded. So we'll pop that on, let it sit, a little more, and tap off the excess. That looks good. All right, now I will buff off the anti-static powder and we're going to trim this down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim this down because I think that's going to be a nice crop and it will help to straighten or flatten out the cardstock as well. So let me cut that out. I'm going to cut a thin layer of gold and then we'll finish out the card. I am going to finish this off and use the other piece of the Desert Storm. So I'm going to pop this up and I matted this on gold. I just thought that would be very autumny, if you will. Isn't that pretty? Let me just do a little. There we go. And I am going to keep this moon because you know what? This moon looks like a harvest moon to me. And we all know that a harvest moon is kind of yellow. I was going to do one more in like grays. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go for the autumn harvest moon. I hope a harvest moon is in the fall. It sounds like it should be, right? All right, so let's get on here. And I just taped the moon into this little embossed piece using a little bit of Post-it tape. I'm going to grab tweezers and a little liquid glue. And again, I'm just using the Big Mama foam tape rule for light dimension, but not too much. And we'll just put some ribbons here like that. And then we will place our little guy right so he's framed side to side, top to bottom, right about there. Slide over just a titch. Oh, come on, Kath. You got it. Right. That's why we like the glue. I got to stand up and look down. There we go. That's easier. And press. So it's got a little dimension. And that is the finished card project. This feels really different for me. like when have I done navy and gold? But you know what? That's kind of neat. So I just wanted to do that. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up our cards for today. So let's look at the cards I created in this video. Wait up, I have one more thing to show you. I didn't get to demonstrate why I love this pad so much. So I took my Winter Village dies that came out in a recent release. And here's why I love a poking pad, because you can poke your delicate die cuts right into the pad and then you don't bend it, right? You just poke and they come out and, you know, you just kind of throw them all away when you're done. But this is why I like a poking pad, because it gives your piercing end of your place and pierce wand a place to go rather than your hand. And it makes it so much easier to cut out any little pieces that get stuck inside your dies. You just poke through the poking pad, which is not called the poking pad. I think it should have been called the poking paw. I think that would have been funny. Anyway, but the positively perfect pad for poking, you know what it's called. I'm going to have it listed right here. I just had to show you that. All right, now we'll look at the cards. So here's a look at the cards I created today. I think this is a really unlinked set of cards, but we'll go in. Let's go in one at a time. All right, we started out with the one that took the longest, the Sending You Cozy Hugs, but I really did want to do the embossing with my stencil because I have never pushed what is it called? The pouncer through. And I love how when this catches the different light, it is the antique gold powder and it's really warm and really beautiful. So I love how this card turned out. Then let's shift you. We went in for a lot of texture using that folder. So you can be very subtle with the 3D folders, right? They can just be a lovely way to add a little bit of that extra texture. Plus, I went ahead and spattered on a little bit of my favorite gold pigment, the liquid pigment, the aqua pigment. And then I just did a tone-on-tone band for the greeting. I think this is a really nice thank you card. So, well, there's that, friend. Now here, we started to get a little funky with our circles and a little spatter. And I just think that's different. I'm going to say it, it's different. But little interconnected shapes, those can be really fun for a card and just a nice little simple greeting. All right, moving on to, I don't know if that's the funkiest, most modern one of the bunch, but it's definitely different. And I liked that I just did really simple stamping with some funky colors. And of course, I've already taped this closed for taking a picture, but the greeting is on the inside. Incredibly grateful for everything you do. And then this little friend, I mean, that's just funky. The little tiny focal point up here, a nice little autumn greeting. I love the soft navy with the gold. I actually think that might be my favorite card today. I don't know. I really like this. It's speaking to me. But those are the finished card projects. And I thank you so much for watching. Now let's look at some photos while I say my closing things. You can find links to the kit that I used for this video. It will be in the description box. If you decide to become a subscriber, you will start with the kit that I used today while supplies last. This is a great deal. It is delivered to your doorstep. There is no long-term obligation. You can cancel your kit at any time. But I love having this box show up every month and then sitting down and creating things that really do push me outside of what is my traditional comfort zone. I will have a blog post with the complete supply list for all the cards. It's too long to fit in the YouTube description, so look for the link to my blog post. And if you want to see more details and the photos, pop over there and take a peek. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you, so hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here with more card projects soon. If you like this kind of video, check out 2 more thumbnails that I have below. Those are my most recent, before today, card unboxing and make videos. I'll see you in those clips.